Hello everyone, this is Siddhi and For Women in India is back with another video. Today we'll be talking about the Women's Reservation Bill, to be or not to be. The Constitution through various provisions has provided for equality clause for protection and empowerment of women's rights. Article 15.3 categorically empowers the state to make special provision for women and children. Women are entitled to enjoy economic, social, cultural, and political rights without discrimination and on footing of equality in order to effectuate fundamental duty to develop scientific temper, humanism, and the spirit of inquiry, and to strive towards excellence in all spheres of individual and collective activities. There are a number of international instruments supporting certain definite state measures for political development of women. Various provision of Convention on the Elimination of All Forms of Discrimination against Women, an international treaty, mentions promotion of political rights of women, for instance, Article 1, Article 3, and Article 7 of the treaty. Article 7 specifically discusses that state parties should take all the appropriate measures to eliminate discrimination against women in the political and public life of the country, and in particular shall ensure to women on equal terms with men. The most important problem in the society as far as women is concerned is not about economical dependence or violation of their basic rights, but the mindset of the people and the society which leads to such aggravating situation. If women will be considered an equal part of the society, then the cases of dowry death, torture, sexual harassment, female feticide, sati, unequal pay for equal work would automatically diminish. The fact that women will be on a state of parliament or state legislature, a place which is much coveted by most powerful people in the country, will help the society in realizing that women are one amongst equals. Let's understand the Women's Reservation Bill 2008. The reservation is thought to be done at three levels, namely Lok Sabha, state legislature, and then at Rajya Sabha and state councils. The Women's Reservation Bill is formally titled as Constitution 108 Amendment Act 2008. Let's talk about provisions related to Rajya Sabha. As per Section 2A of the bill, in Article 82, after the word seats, the words including those reserved for women will be inserted. Article 82 will then mean that the allocation of seats in the Council of States will be filled by representatives of the states and of the union territories, and will also include women representatives from the reserved area in accordance with the fourth schedule. Further, the clause B of Section 2 lays down that a proviso will be added to the Article 83 stating, provided that not less than 1/3 of such members shall be women. Article 83 states that members nominated by President in Council of States will comprise of people having special knowledge and practical experience in the field of literature, science, art, and social service. Hence, by adding the above-mentioned proviso, then out of these experts nominated, 1/3 will have to be comprised of women. This will be a great leap in promoting women to excel in various fields of arts and science. Clause 3 of Article 171 lays down composition of members of Legislative Council and specifies the ratio of people inducted from various fields. Section 3A adds a proviso to this clause and states that 1/3 of the seats mentioned in Clause 3 will be reserved for women. Clause 5 of Article 171 discusses members nominated by the governor and reiterates that they should have special knowledge and experience in the field of literature, science, art, and social service. Again, Clause B of Section 3 adds a proviso to the clause and states that 1/3 of the seats mentioned in Clause 5 will be reserved for women. Now let's discuss sections related to Lok Sabha. As per Section 4 of the Act, the words Scheduled Caste in Article 239AA will be substituted by Scheduled Caste and the women. Section 5 states that after Article 330, another Article 330A and Article 330B will be inserted. The Article 330A will then lay down the following points. Seats will be reserved for women in Lok Sabha. Clause 2 of the Article 330 provides for reservation of scheduled caste and scheduled tribes. So 1/3 seat of this reserved category will be reserved for women. In case if there is only one seat reserved for SC/STs in a state or union territory, then out of the 3 general elections for the first election, the seat will be reserved for a SC/ST women. In case if there are 2 seats reserved for the SC/STs in a state or a union territory, then out of the 3 general elections for the first 2 elections, the seat will be reserved for SC/ST women in such a manner that the same constituency will not be repeated. For the 3rd general election, no seat will be reserved for SC/ST women. 1/3 of the total number of seats of parliament, state legislatures, union territory will be filled by women, including SC/ST women, in rotation as parliament may determine. In case there is only one seat of general category for any state or union territory, then once out of the 3 general elections, the seat will be reserved for women. Now let's discuss sections related to state legislature. Section 7 discusses about inserting Article 332A after Article 332. Article 332A states similar provisions as mentioned under Article 330A, but Article 332A is in context of state legislature and Article 330A was in the context of parliament. Similarly, Section 8 is similar to Section C and inserts a provision in Article 333 in context of reservation of seats in state for Anglo-Indian women. Finally, Section 9 states provisions to insert Article 334A and 334B after Article 334. Article 334A states that all the provisions will cease to have an effect after 15 years of the commencement of the Act. Now let's have a look at the situation globally. Almost half of the total number of countries over the world has subscribed to some or the other form of reservation for women. As per the data provided under the joint project of International Institute for Democracy and Electoral Assistance and Stockholm University, there are about 15 countries that provides for constitutional quotas for national parliaments. The tables on the screen will give a clear picture of various laws applicable to implement quota for women at national level. There are currently 15 countries worldwide with constitutional quota for women in national parliaments. The list also includes Afghanistan. However, the fate of the constitutional quota for women is in danger. The current Taliban regime recently announced a new interim government with no women parliamentarian. The list also includes countries like Nepal, Taiwan, which is a United Nations province of China, Argentina, Bangladesh, amongst others. There are 43 countries around the world with election law quota regulation for women in national parliament, such as China, Jordan, Panama, Pakistan, and others. The Women's Reservation Bill is being opposed tooth and nail as the male section of the society feels threatened that their authority is being swamped and subjugated. The chances of the bill being passed is remote, as passing of the bill is almost equated with giving up on their seats. The objections now raised are that there is no representation of OBC's women in the bill, despite the recommendation of the 1996 report that examined the Women's Reservation Bill in 1996. Former Union Minister M. Virappa Moily in 2010 ruled out providing reservation for other backward castes in the Women's Reservation Bill, saying that the data on OBC is not available at the national level, which is the case even now. He also said that there is no provision in the Constitution to provide for OBC reservation, particularly for political reservation, even though for employment and education reservation is provided. The issue is OBC reservation could be further discussed and deliberated upon, but it shall not be used as an excuse to delay the process or to reject the entire bill. The bill, when passed, will be a good compensation to women for being made to be non-existent in the political sphere for as long as our constitution has been in existence and for as long as one can trace the life of mankind. Share your views and opinions in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe to our channel. If you like our work, do consider contributing on our Patreon page. The link is in the description box.